Thank you very much for joining us, Zandile. So what are some of the major takeaways that you've drawn from the latest CPI data? Of course, we've just given an overview in our introduction.
Well, I think as we get to seeing the overall year, the average CPI inflation rate last year was 6.9%. So it really kind of supports the Reserve Bank moves in terms of introducing those interest rate increases. But really, I think you've already touched on three of the key major contributors to higher inflation in December, but very much the story of what we've seen in the past year, where transport, food, and housing were key contributors to rising inflation, also being very essential goods in the household basket. So looking ahead at this year, those are kind of where we want to concentrate on and start to get a sense of what will happen to these three key line items in terms of how they will then influence inflation and the Reserve Bank's decisions.
When we look at the headline number, the direction seems to be headed in the right direction. That is, inflation is rising at a slower pace. But what's your sense for the first half of 2023, and how much of a factor will the latest electricity increase be in that?
So there are signs that we are going to see this inflation move continue on that downward trajectory. Mainly the petrol price is expected to continue to go down. We're expecting a decrease in February, and something that will continue as the threat of global recession really starts to hit on the oil price itself. So Brent crude price is expected to trend downwards, at least in the first half of the year. From a utilities perspective, this might then have a crowding out effect just in terms of moderating inflation. With the 18% increase we're expecting to kick in April, we are going to see housing and utilities become a bigger item in terms of inflation. Its overall weighting on the basket is about 24%. So it will be a significant increase on a significant component of the CPI basket. So we'll just have to watch and monitor how that trends over the first half.
So some people may be aggrieved to hear economists like yourself expecting some sort of downward trend in inflation, but at the same time we're hearing talk that the Reserve Bank is likely to continue raising rates. What do you understand around that, and what's your expectation come next week when they deliver their latest decision on monetary policy?
There's two elements. So we are still above that inflation target band, which is 6%. So there is still room for the Reserve Bank to create mitigating factors by increasing rates. The other element is dealing with the external factor. So by and large, we are still seeing a lot of our trade partners moving towards higher interest rates as a way of moderating their own inflation. And we want to kind of keep on par with those changes in protection of our currency and ensuring that we reduce as much as possible any imported inflation.
All right, Zandile, thank you very much for your insights there. She's an economist at Liberty. That's Zandile Makhoba.